Good morning. So today in class, we completed an address by Elizabeth Cady Stanton, first read, and Nearpod. So after attendance, we'll do a little intro to Elizabeth Cady Stanton, and then we'll do the first read of the text and address by Elizabeth Cady Stanton, and focusing on identifying the purpose and the subject of her speech. So the first thing you'll do is go to the Nearpod. Codes for each class are on slide 13 of the week 28 slides. Let me just get back to the Nearpod. So we're going to start by doing two truths and a lie for slides 3 through 6. You're given 3 statements about Elizabeth Cady Stanton. You just need to determine which you think is the lie. So this is just kind of a fun, engaging way to get you interested in the text and to learn something more about her. And then we're just going to transition to the timeline. So this speech was given in 1848, so a long time ago. In 1861 to 1865, the Civil War happened in America, and as a result of that, the 13th Amendment was passed ending slavery. The 14th Amendment was passed in 1868, giving citizenship and equal rights to people in the country of America. And the 15th Amendment was passed in 1870, giving the right to vote to males, all males, regardless of color. And then in 1920, so many years later, the 19th Amendment was passed, giving women the right to vote finally. So Cady Stanton delivered this speech, which you'll see is about women's suffrage and giving the women the right to vote. And she died in 1902 before she could see her dreams realized, 72 years after her speech was given. So I just wanted you to see, like, in the overall context, just how long it took women to get the right for suffrage. In 1848, with this speech at the Women's Rights Convention, is really when the women's suffrage movement began, and it picked up later in the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century. Okay, so reviewing the acronym SOAPS, that's your speaker, occasion, audience, purpose, and subject. Those are the things that you want to think about in a speech. So who is the speaker? Elizabeth Cady Stanton. What is the occasion? She delivered this keynote address at the Seneca Falls Convention, formerly called the Women's Rights Convention. And it was a convention where women fought for the social, civil, and religious rights of women. I should say women and men. Really, it was open to anyone. And it was held in July 19th and 20th of 1848. The audience was about 300 people. You got to think this is back before people were rolling around in cars and motorcycles. So it was mostly area residents at Seneca Falls, which is about an hour away from us. So that's pretty cool. And on this day, when she delivered the keynote address, only women were allowed to attend. And just for some background information, a keynote address is basically the first speech that kicks off a convention. So like if I go to a convention for English teachers, usually they'll bring in someone pretty famous, like a famous author, to do the keynote address because they want you to be engaged and interested and know why you're there, but also kind of excited about what's to come in the convention. All right, after that you're going to listen to the first read of the text. So the digital copy is on slide 9 also. There's a digital copy in the week 28 slides on slide 14, in case for some reason that doesn't work. As you listen, it's about 10 minutes long. Please go to modules and open up an address by Elizabeth Cady Stanton full text and follow along as you listen. And while you listen, you just want to think about what is the author's purpose. So what is Elizabeth Cady Stanton's purpose for giving the speech? And what is the subject? It's kind of like the subject is the topic, the purpose is like the central idea. So is she trying to inform, persuade, or entertain? And then what is she trying to inform, persuade, or entertain? And that'll be your first question on the Nearpod. So when you finish, you're just going to write down 2 points that you understood from the text. And then I just have a little reading strategy. So when reading, you can look at the first and last sentences of paragraphs to find main ideas. So I gave you the first sentences of paragraphs 1, 4, 6, and 7. And based on those, I want you to answer the question, which is highlighted here. What is the purpose of Elizabeth Cady Stanton's speech? To inform, persuade, or entertain? What specifically is she trying to inform, persuade, or entertain? And then you're going to review paragraphs 1 to 3. So there's a time to climb with some multiple choice questions. And then I have on slide 14, paragraph 2, and you're going to answer what is not a main idea of paragraph 2. 15, there's a follow-up question about verbal irony in paragraph 2. Make sure you watch the video clip. And then finally, you'll review paragraph 3 and answer a question about tone. All right, please email me to my inbox if you have any questions about the instructions for today.